remind you that I have one daughter with 3 kids that live in Bedford, and I have another daughter that has a baby boy that we've been looking for houses in Bedford. She lives in Euless, so she'll be moving to Bedford shortly. So this is a big concern not only as an educator but also as a grandfather and father. A couple of quick things, and I'll move on because I've kind of spoke. I was a little upset the other night going through what I went through because this really is about safety. You know, I was really accountable, and we are as principals in every level with academics. We're graded through the state and through local things, and that's understood, but I think a lot of people don't understand that we were accountable for the safety of about 2,200 kids on a daily basis. Every day that their safety is our concern too. You know, at times I've been called, especially in the Star-Telegram, I've been called a maverick, a liberal, a clown, many different things, but I'm also on a conservative side. I'm the one in the district that really started writing tickets, and at Trinity, actually, if you say a cuss word and teacher's offended, it's a $180 ticket. Also, if you disrupt a class, it's a $180 ticket. If you're in a fight, it's up to $500. If you're in an assault, it's up to $1,000. And what happens, you don't write any tickets. What happens, kids are so smart nowadays, they know what the deal is, and they understand they need to go to school and act right. And so we treat them like adults, they act like adults. And I think they'll find out about this rule and they'll know that they need to stay in school, and they won't. You know, it's more of a deterrent. I will admit that, you know, I can't be fired. I'm retired. I can relate a story happened maybe a month ago at Trinity. A kid moved in from Mansfield, and you remember there's 500 a year that move into Bell and also to Trinity. And this kid from Mansfield, having been there a week, cussed out a teacher at Trinity, actually twice in the same period, and got upset. Well, not only did he get his ticket, they took him to jail. And the mother agreed and left him in jail for 3 days. And another kid went up to me afterwards and said, you know, we just don't do that at Trinity. So it's understood how you act. Well, I think with this issue, it's going to be understood that you don't cut class, you stay in school. Another story is that it took me 7 years to get that fence in front of Trinity. Every day in my office, I'd hear tires squeal as people would jaywalk in front of the school, myself included, along with my assistant principals, along with my counselors, along with my teacher assistants, secretaries, and students. Every day when those Chicken Express, Quiznos, Dickey's Barbecue came in, it's just quicker to cross the street. And I sat in my office every day and heard those tires squeal. I knew how important it was to build that fence. Well, we built the fence, and now what does the data show? I don't know. There is no data, because the kids have to go to each red light now to cross, and it's their decision to cross against the light. It's not their choice to jaywalk out there. And so, but I do know that this year that a kid left his car in neutral, standard, and it rolled down the hill from the flagpole down the hill, and the fence did stop that car. Now, if it rolled on 157, would someone gotten killed? I don't know. Would someone gotten hurt? Probably. Well, if we can keep these kids in school, we have the proof academically that we can be successful with them. But we need that daytime curfew to make sure they are in school. And what you really will create, to be honest, is a safe haven. Bedford is 45 feet from Trinity High School. And if I'm a Euless kid, I know that if I cut school, I need to be in Bedford, because I get a ticket in Euless. And so what you're creating is all those kids over there, and they are smart, a lot smarter than you're going to give them credit for. They know the rules. They know when to do it, how to do it, and why. And even good kids cut classes and are truant. They too skip. We had a kid one day, we had half-day testing, and he went to the lake and drank. Well, he was killed on the way home. A great kid, bad decision. So even the good kids make bad decisions, and when they cut class, they could make a bad decision and be driving in Bedford or Euless or Hearst and hit a kid on a bicycle that's a homeschooler, or my grandkid that's not in school. And so I think it's important that we send a message that you should be in school. We are successful. We have the data, all the data you want to on that. So my concern is not really money. It's the safety of the kids that I was responsible for. It's for my grandkids. It's for my daughter. It's for everyone involved. And I think it's a safety issue, and they need to be in school. And it's simple. And the thing is, what I always say to you, now you share that burden. I shared it for 10 years. Now you get to share that burden with those people at Trinity, the ones who speak to you later, because that's their involvement every day during the day of those 2,100 schools. Well, now you have that burden to make sure that, you know, if it's just one kid gets hurt, we need to have the rule. If we save one kid from getting hurt, we need to have that rule, period. You know, it's not worth losing one kid at Trinity. I needed that fence. Did I need to get a kid killed at Trinity before I got that fence? Is that what it's going to take? You know, it's not worth it. And so my prayer, and I hope you would look at the side that we're leaning towards, is safety and education. That's what it's about. It's not making criminals out of kids at home. That's not what it's about. The problem is that's going to be the kid that's injured. I don't know how they don't see that. It's amazing to me they don't look that if a kid's cut school, that, you know, like driving back from lunch from Taco Bell at 80 miles an hour so you won't get a tardy. You know, well, they'd be driving back and hit a homeschooler. I'm concerned about them too. You know, it's not worth anybody's life or injury. You know, and kids do know, and they will go to Bedford, and they know, and we have proof already that we have more kids staying in school. So thank you for your time. I'm passionate about my job, and I've been passionate for a long time, so I got to get back to work. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just
Okay, just a second, real quick, I know you got a school board meeting tonight.
can anybody got a question real quick?
I did. I'll be quick,
Yes.
Mr. Cargile.
And I did shave tonight for y'all.
That's right.
I'm on blood thinner, so.
You know, I just heard you make a comment about the tickets that
Yes.
you've issued. Do you feel like that was a successful program, or is a successful?
Unbelievable.
program?
I think they had one fight first semester in the whole school. One fight in a half a year.
I've got to ask you, because when I look at this, and I think you know where my position is right now, when I look at the curfew, I look at it as a big net that's been thrown over those tunas,
Yes.
but it's also catching some of the dolphins
Mhm.
and other fish that aren't intended to be caught.
Right.
If ticketing is working for cussing and for fighting and things like that, why can't the campuses issue citations to these kids for being truant? Because you know who they are, you know when they're not there.
We don't.
You don't know.
There's 14 kids at Trinity that are homeless. We don't know where they are. They live in cars. They change apartments from week to week.
Do you know who their parents are?
We have a list. I gave the deal that we only have probably 50% that live, or 40% that have both parents, original parents. And some live with one parent and they're latchkey kids. And as assistant principal for 14 years, I'd bet 80% of the calls I called, they said, don't bother me. Leave me alone. I can't handle him. You do what you want to do. But kids are smart, and with limitations that we put on them, they're fine. But getting support and having to depend on the home that's a dream.
I think that for the number of people that are being impacted by this ordinance, it's disproportionate.
But if you save one dolphin, it's worth it.
Initially, this issue started about keeping the kids in school.
Right.
And I don't recall safety as being
It's a
part
major
of
issue.
that. But I would like to see the campuses consider citations for truancy as well.
Well, I think they can discuss there's several length of rules that you have to follow first. That it's very difficult to issue a ticket in the state of Texas for truancy. Whereas a police officer can if you're not in school. It's much easier for him to do it than for us to get the data or the, how many classes you got to cut, 2 or more classes, and you have to have it. You can ask, they know that. But it's,
Okay.
but it's much easier for, if you see 6 15-year-olds coming out of a house, before the policeman would probably say, hey, you need to be in school. Well, now those 6 get a ticket. That'll be the last time those 6 will be in someone's house, wherever it is, and they'll probably be in school because they say it's not worth it. Whereas, that gives the opportunity for them to get a ticket. I said before, Chief Flory, they know the difference, and they can tell who should be in school and who shouldn't. I don't think that's an issue. Like I said, we've had vocational kids come and go all day from Trinity and walk on the street every day and never been stopped.